So we're gonna move over into our final segment, the Showtime with the Cube segment, as we close out one of the greatest comic book shows to ever come out, The Penguin. All right, episodes 7 and 8.
Yes.
Oh, were you about to say something?
Well, I was going to say
Yeah,
episode 7, honestly, for me, felt very filler-ish. It was like it felt like
it was filler.
It was very filler-ish. A lot of the flashback stuff. So really, let's talk about the theme of what that episode is about, episode 7. Overall, the theme is about you coming to realize that the relationship between Oz and his mother isn't what it seems. So
right.
That's the theme. So
right.
Turns out,
because you see, during that episode, you see that Oz has actually had the hand in the deaths of his brother because he locked him in the sewer, and it rained that night. And it's kind of weird because that ends up being the place that he goes back to set up his operation, and he's totally and completely unfazed by it.
Yeah, and the mother she knows that that's what happened, and
we find that out in episode 8.
Right. And so, what's the local gangster's name? What's that local gangster's name?
During that time, his name was Rex.
Rex. So Rex is the local gangster, and Oz keeps going around him, and he can tell that he's kind of gangster-ish as a young kid, and he basically tells Oz's mom, "Hey, you could either help nurture the kid and be a gangster, or you could take him out." I didn't think it was worth taking him out over. Kind of extreme. But she seems to be willing to take him out. So she kind of sets Oz up and has him dress up in a nice suit, and they go out to this jazz club. And
now in episode 7, it makes it seem like they were going out on the town just to go out on the town.
Just to go out on the town. They don't really fill you in on it. But then in episode 8, they fill in that backstory.
Yeah, because Jillian's actually the one who's manipulating her to go into her memories. I think Jillian's the Scarecrow in this universe.
Really? Oh, I can. Okay.
I believe he's the Scarecrow.
Okay. You're talking about the guy who is the shrink who is with.
Yeah.
What's her face? Yeah. Okay. He's from Sons of Anarchy. I've never really liked him as an actor. I'm not really feeling his part too much.
Yeah, so it says right up here that this is possibility. It says Dr. Julian Rush could be a new version of Dr. Jonathan Crane, also known as the Scarecrow.
Well, they haven't changed any names yet, have they? We haven't observed that. They've been true to the original, so we can probably rule that out.
It said, from what we got up here, they're just going off their tactics. So both Dr. Rush and the Scarecrow use methods to make their enemies face their fears. For example, Dr. Rush uses a red light experimental treatment to make Sophia face her fears. The Scarecrow is known for using chemicals and toxins to make his enemies face their fears. So that's kind of what he was doing. He was making her go back in time and kind of relive that entire moment. And I guess she was just talking out loud during that time as if she was actually in that moment. And so we seen that entire thing. And once again, you see that Oz didn't enjoy being disrespected when he was a kid either. Because when they went and they hid down deep in the sewer, knowing it was hard for him to get down there, then that just pissed him off, and he's just instinctually evil. Like that's just who he is.
But the problem is that you like the guy. You're on his side the whole show, right? And so
yeah, in a world of bad people, you're on this bad
feel
guy's
for him.
side.
You feel like his mom abused him or didn't care for him, and he had a rough life, and you feel for him. You want the guy. He's the protagonist, right? So, but we're not gonna get to the twist that we're gonna put that off till the end of the show. So, episode 7 basically is a setup for episode 8, which is the big finale. Ultimately, and I thought it was a decent finale. It felt a little anticlimactic in certain ways. So you have Oz is captive in episode 7, right?
Yeah, Oz is captured. Oh yeah, and at the end of 7, if I because it wasn't 6 in 7, I believe is where Sal goes down there and he tries to take over his operation and all that stuff as well, and dies during the process, has a heart attack, and then Sophia actually sends a car down because the Penguin Oz knows that he has or she has his mother captive.
Right.
Okay, and so when he's actually pulling back the covers in the back of the car, he's kind of like shell shocked because he thinks his mother underneath it and it's a bomb. And so they actually blow up his entire facility. Of course, he gets away. He jumps down. Oddly enough, he jumps down into the damn sewer well where he let his brothers die. He jumps down in there, and of course, it kind of destroys Crown Point for the most part, as far as the middle part of the city. And then you see the actual detective knock Oz out and take him away. So that's kind of the premise, and a lot like you said, a lot of that's most of that particular show on episode 7 is the flashback from when Oz is a kid. You see that he has a connection with his mother where he doesn't want anybody else to have her attention. So he deeply loves his mother, almost to the point where it cost her life. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I think because he does something that I tell people to do all the time. I was like, man, when you caught in a lie more. Okay? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm taking my lie to the grave. And he's that dude. Because when he's caught, and you see at the beginning of episode 8, Sophia's got him tied up, and Sophia wants to torture him by making him relive what he did to his brothers while his mom is there. And so, even during that time, even when Sophia is about to cut his mother's pinky off, he's like, Ma, I didn't do it. I mean, they're lying to you, Ma. I'd never do something like that. It's your condition that's got you messed up. I said, damn, Oz. And at that point in time, Sophia realizes, like, this dude's just a flat out monster.
Mm-hmm.
Even to the point, because during this episode, you actually see the flashback to where Rex is actually in there talking to his mother. And that's when she asks Rex, is like, well, will you kill Oz for me? Of course, she didn't go through with it. You know what I'm saying? But you see that moment, and she relives that because she knows Oz actually committed the crime because he had that that yellow flashlight in his jacket. That's what gave him away. So she knows the entire time that he's the one that actually caused the death of her other children. And so she kind of lived with that demon. So she's kind of a monster herself.
Yeah.
They're kind of peas in the same pod. You know what I'm saying? But at that point in time, she snaps. And even goes to the point where she stabs him in the gut with a broken bottle.
Yes.
Which I thought was pretty damn intense.
Wild, yeah. That scene was crazy.
I think it actually surprised Sophia, too.
She sat there and told him that she knew and that she hated his guts, and his whole world must have come crashing down,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even throughout all that, still can't take her out. That's the one thing. That's the one thing that Oz can't do. And that's the one thing she asked him to do. If she got to the point to where, she's a complete vegetable, which is what she becomes.
Right.
It's like, hey, can you do it? And he says I can, but he can't. He can't do it. I don't know if that. I'm assuming that her being there because he made a promise to her, and so he feels like seeing how she's still there, even though she can't really enjoy any of it. That's kind of his fulfilling his promise and the prophecy of the Penguin. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's the premise there. So what do you think about it? You think that's the reason why he can't actually go through it as far as with his mother when he can go through with pretty much anybody else?
I don't know. At this point, I think it's more like a fuck you.
Oh, okay.
So, or maybe not.
Oh,
It could be, or it could be.
so it's
Well, it could be
more like
self-delusion.
to hell with you, Ma.
It could be,
Okay.
but it could be delusion because. And I'm going to skip to the scene at the end of 8 when she's in the bed, and he goes, "Look, Ma, I got you the view you always wanted," and a tear rolls down her face, and she goes,
Oh, yeah.
he goes, "I know it's overwhelming," or it's something along those lines, like. But
Yeah.
she wasn't.
Yeah.
That tear didn't fall for that reason, and so the
Right.
question is, did he know that, and was he being a dick, or was he living in a delusion? That's the question.
Right. Now somehow when Sophia has Oz captured, he manages to escape. I mean, he's a slippery bastard. You know what I'm saying? He managed to escape, managed to take his mom with him. His mom had a stroke. Okay. She had a stroke right there after she stabbed him in the gut with the bottle. And he gets away, and when he gets away, he manages to link back up with Victor, and he actually gets a audience with one of the council members. And some people were saying that I seen on a couple videos that was touting the Court of Owls because the chairs were in owl shapes. So they were thinking that that's going to be something that's going to be in the future.
So let me talk about the Court of Owls for a second. The Court of Owls, if I'm not mistaken, the first appearance of the Court of Owls is in the New 52 reboot from about 10 years ago or more. And the Court of Owls is like the organization that keeps watch over Gotham, and is like the Gotham Illuminati is basically what the Court of Owls is. And it turns out they're behind all kinds of stuff that Batman was, fighting against. I believe they teased the Court of Owls a little bit in the movie with Robert Pattinson. If I'm not mistaken, I believe they teased it a tiny bit, but didn't really go there. And so the Court of Owls, when I have those comics. And when I read those comics, I have the first 6 of that series. The Court of Owls was like the coolest Batman shit that I'd ever seen. So hopefully the series will explore that, or the movie will explore that, because it's too good of content for them to not.
Right. And during that time, Oz actually gets the councilman's ear, and kind of offers him something. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna offer you Sophia on the platter. She killed Sal. She destroyed Crown Point. She killed her folks. I'm gonna offer you all that on a platter, and that'd be real nice to show that you're cleaning up Gotham, so you can move your way up the ranks." So once again, slick son bitch. Okay, I mean, he's a slick mofo. It's like, yeah, you gonna go down there, you're gonna find Sal's body, which you do. I mean, it's gonna be down there. So it's just that whole premise and that whole setup, and anytime you got people in these positions, they're always trying to move up as far as power goes. So that kind of speaks back to what we talk about even today, as far as the corruption within the ranks, as far as people who run different agencies. This is, councilmen of Gotham, and you just see how corrupt they are and how they're trying to move up and enhance their position. And they'll do it messing with people that they know are filthy. Okay, filthy animals. Okay, crooked animals. All right. So Sophia actually puts a bounty on Oz's head. Victor goes back and sees that Crown Point's been destroyed. He said, "Hey, we got to go out there and find him." They're like, "Oh, we ain't here for Oz. We're here for his drugs, and there ain't no more drugs, so fuck Oz." You know what I'm saying? And Victor has an emboldened speech. Looks like he might get handled right then. My man Link punches him in the gut. It's just like, "Hey, man, just shut the fuck up, okay?" He's like, "Man, they're going to shoot your ass if you don't shut up."
He did that to save him. It seemed like he did that to save him. Like,
yeah, he did. Yeah, that was the whole premise there. Yeah, he did that to save him. And so Sophia puts the bounty on his head, and she lets the people know, like, "Hey, you see this whole mansion? You can have it. You can have the drug game. You can have Gotham. Whoever finds Oz and brings him to me, you won. You get it. You get all of it. I'm rolling out afterwards, okay?" Now, I thought it was pretty funny because at that point in time, my girlfriend's like, "Yeah, she's going to probably destroy the house." I'm like, "What?" And I'll be damn if she doesn't go and burn it down. Pours alcohol over the place and burns it down. Now, during the time where Oz is captured by Link after he goes and talks to the councilman. And Sophia's meeting up with Link and with his boss and some of the other people as far as that organization, saying, "Hey, congratulations, you won." But then we see a turn of events where Victor has set up with Link and the others to actually take out their bosses because they haven't been treating them right this whole time. So we see like a role reversal where all of the made men get taken out in unison of all these different organizations, all these gangs. And so that was, I wasn't expecting that.
That seemed like a perk.
I was like, how is he going to get out of this? So I wasn't expecting that. What'd you think about that particular moment?
Well, they all got taken out by that bomb, right?
No, no, that was Oz. That was Oz's place,
right? But all those guys,
in Crown Point, they got taken out by,
right? But all of the gang guys were down there with him.
No. Yeah, I'm talking about the other people that he was going to form his coalition with, the other
right,
gangs.
Right.
So
okay, gotcha.
What was it? Yeah. So you see them like they're like second in command, assassinate the first in command.
Right.
Because that was the first thing. The Link shoots his boss in the head, and then it kind of goes throughout. You see the white guy get choked out with the wire. Damn, the one woman got beat to death with a helmet. I said, damn, cuz. I mean, the black guy just got shot. I was like, man, he got it easy. The first two got it easy. One got shot in the head, instant dead. The other guy got shot. But the choked out and then the one get beat to death with the helmet, you felt that for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So you see that, and Oz is like, "Bo, that was brilliant. That was brilliant, Victor." It's like I didn't think you had that in you, to set something like that up. And so he actually takes Sophia on a ride. Sophia believes this is going to be her last ride, okay? Because she thinks that Oz is going to take her out there and shoot her. And right when he takes her by the water, and he's got the gun up to her head, helicopters come because Oz knows that I'm going to give you something that's worse than death. That's you going back to Arkham Asylum. Because he's a bastard. That's why. Because he's a damn bastard. And he's slick. And he's sly. And he's cunning. And then we get to the last moment of this show. Okay? Now, this scene stuck with me. Corey, I ain't going to lie to you. This scene with Victor and Oz right there near the end of the show, that shit stuck with me. Okay? It's one of those scenes that's like it kept replaying in my head. I'm like, holy fucking shit. Like it.
I was like, my jaw was kind of hanging open. And the final scene, basically, he kills Victor. And we're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Now, do you know he wasn't going to kill Victor? That's not what he was going to do. I believe they were going to sit there and they were going to drink. Here's why he killed Victor. Because of one word that Victor said. Family. The minute he said that, Oz's whole expression changed. That was it. He wasn't going to kill Victor. I don't believe he was. But the minute he said, because of course he stutters, you're almost like family. And then Oz is like, he just like starts looking down, is like, because in his mind, he's like, oh, holy shit, I do have a connection with this kid. And people can use that against me. And that's what he tells him. He said, man, I can't have weaknesses
but
like
I think they had to have him do something. They had to have him do that because you got to like the fucking guy and you're not supposed to like him. They had you like him enough to watch.
Well, of course. So they put that in
episodes.
there. Yeah, they put that in there. It was intentional to put that in there. But I believe, like, in real time, Oz wasn't going to kill him until he said, we're like family. And then Oz was like, I can't have no fucking family where I'm trying to go. And that was the premise, because the whole time he's choking him, you almost kind of see Oz tear up a little bit.
Yeah, it did look like that.
Like his expression, like even though he's choking, he knows he's killing. Oz is like tearing up because he knows he actually has a connection with the kid. You know what I'm saying? He actually likes the kid, but he can't have that hanging over his head where somebody can use that against him in the future.
Yeah.
you know, and so it's a very, because he didn't have the gun or nothing with him. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have a blade just to stab him. I mean, this is literally bare hands. This is spur of
And
the
so
moment.
ultimately, when you look back at this, at the 8 episodes in the series, and you kind of put together the theme of it is getting to know Oswald and who he is. It's obviously set up for a future movie or something. And they did a great job of pulling you in, getting you really interested in the character, wanting to know more about the character. And then at the end of the show, you really come to, you get your final lesson in who this guy really is. And that was eye-opening.
A villain.
Yeah.
A straight villain. I ain't gonna lie to you. You sitting there and you're like, oh, damn, boy, Oz gonna pull this off. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's good, that's good. And then when he kills Victor, you like, Batman, come kick his ass.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
And one thing I gotta say is, what was the very last thing that happened in the show?
Bat
signal came up in the air.
Bat signals for something else though happening.
True,
I don't think it has anything to do with the penguin.
Correct. Yep. It was just it was for ominous foretelling.
Homage. Oh, and somebody, I missed this. I probably need to go back and look at it. But somebody said that there was an actual photo out saying, "Have you seen this person?" And it was Victor. So the question is, if that's the case, I need to go back and look at it. But I've seen multiple people say that. If that's the case, who came and got his body? Is he actually dead?
I would say, yeah. I would say
that's
had
some questions there.
Portray.
That's some questions there. Now, some people were saying that could potentially set up a future villain. Was it in the comments? It was Victor Assaz, and I think if I'm correct, whenever he would he was going to kill himself, but then in the comics, this is what somebody said: he was going to kill himself, but then somebody tried to rob him. And he got stabbed, but he ended up killing the person. And then from there, he kind of just went on a serial killer murderous spree. And he would mark into his face every time he killed somebody. So is that the case? I don't know. But it's almost seeming like the body was missing, even though we know it was just sitting there, laying in the grass. You know, of course, he got rid of his license. He took the money out of his wallet to make it seem like, somebody robbed him. But it's almost making it seem like, potentially the body was never found. So that could be something interesting down the line. If that is true, I would much rather it be that he actually just died. Than potentially of him coming back, unless they're going to do something badass.
Yeah, I don't
with
want that
you
to
know
happen,
what I'm saying?
because you needed him to die to set the character for Oz. So I think it's pretty cut and dry.
Right. So it's crazy because, what Marvel has tried to do is try to make all their villains anti-heroes. But in this, they just made him just the evil motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Which really sets the tone for your villain. I mean, was it Neurotic said, this is how you do a villain arc.
Yeah.
Like, this is it. Like, this is the way. And, usually it is up to DC is more willing to get more into the darker side of some things.
Always.
Than Marvel has been. So yeah, but this show was absolutely incredible.
It was good. It was good. I would say,
I mean,
I feel like the show was it was gangbusters the first couple episodes because we hadn't seen anything like it.
Right.
But I feel like by the time we got to the end of the show, we were acclimated to the type of show that it is. And I feel like the last couple episodes were a little anticlimactic, but I really can't put my finger on why.
It's probably because everybody was dead. Like all your, like, it was just really, Sophia had like 2 dudes left. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she had like 2 dudes left. That was it. And they got shot at the airport. But it still does not beat that that scene with him choking Victor, like, Bo, I had dreams of that shit. That shit was in my mind, dude. Like, I've watched a shit ton of movies. I ain't had no scene stick like that with me, like the way that did. Straight up, man. I was like, this is a fucking masterpiece of a scene to make you want to go find Batman so he can beat his nose into his brain. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like at that moment in time, you're like, damn it, somebody get Batman here right now. That's the way you feel. So he can handle the Penguin. Fuck the Penguin. Sorry, son of a bitch. Even though Victor's a villain. You know what I'm saying? He's technically a villain. But you felt for him because he was like he found his purpose in the world. And the whole time that damn Oz is choking him out, he's like, you're a good man, Vic. You did the right things. I know it don't seem like it right now, but it wasn't all for nothing. I was just like, man, this shit is evil, man. Even the speech while he's choking him out. I mean, Victor's saying, please, Oz,
he's killing him as he's apologizing to him for killing him.
Yeah, I mean, that's Bud. I ain't seen no scene like that in a hot minute. I'd have to go back and watch some older movies that maybe had some times where a betrayal or whatever, but I've just seen betrayal where, you know, folks are going up and all of a sudden the man stabs you in the back or nothing. Not while you sitting there having a drink, hugging the man. Hey man, we did it. We made it to the finish line, and he chokes you out. I mean, he didn't even use a weapon. It was bare hands. That's what made it intimate. Is that it was bare hands. Won't no knife on a gun. It was just me, you, and my hands. You know what I'm saying? What's the saying? Blood on your hands. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So I mean that. Man, what a hell of an ending. What a hell of an ending. And of course, you see him in his classic penguin suit at the end. He's made it. He's got the penthouse, and he has the girl come back and dress up as his mother.
Yeah, she's
from years ago when he was a child, and kind of says, "Hey, I'm proud of you" and all that. So he's reliving that moment.
He needs that,
which is the delusion you were talking about.
He needs that influence in his life. He needs that woman, mother figure, to keep telling him he's a good boy and stuff. So,
yeah. So that's the delusion that you were speaking about.
If I'm not mistaken,
as far as what he's
like in the if I'm not mistaken, in the Batman movie that had Penguin with Danny DeVito, his mother was in that also, played by Gilda.
Oh, was she?
Played by. Well, that wasn't Gilda Radner, was it? I forget who she was played by.
It's been a while since I watched.
Yeah, those movies were crap. But it's good that they're sticking somewhat to the original themes.
Yeah. So, how many cubes? How many
I'm
cubes?
Gonna give it 8.5.
I'm with you.
8.5.
I'm with you.
I'd go higher, but I don't know. My feeling of it petering out towards the last couple episodes kind of diminished a little bit. But that might just have been my expectations were too high or something. So still 8.5 is good.
Well, yeah. Well, a lot of times you see shows end on a big final battle, and this didn't do that,
right?
Because, like I said, Sophia had killed her whole family, about guards and all. I mean, she took them out. Salvatore, he didn't have but a few folks left. They got blown up. And then the other people, they were kind of inconsequential overall into the whole premise of the Penguin, but they killed all their bosses, so there wasn't much of a big battle. This thing wasn't like a big shootout, like the movie Heat. You know that movie with Al Pacino, Robert De Niro. Yeah, that movie Heat where you have all those shootouts and things like that. There's a scene in that sticks with me too. When the dude that the guy that betrayed him, that was part of their squad, he had Robert De Niro actually lets the guy go, and he finds him later on. He finds him in a hotel, hits him in the nose twice with the butt of the gun. And the dude's looking down. He said, "Look at me, fucking look at me." And he puts about 4 rounds in his chest. There's certain scenes in movies that just stick with you. You know what I'm saying? Over time. So, but guys, if you have not seen The Penguin, then we spoiled all over it for you. So I don't know what the hell you've been doing. look, man, we've been telling y'all to watch the Penguin. Okay. So give it about 3 weeks. Let the Christmas spirit come about you, and then go watch the Penguin. So that way, maybe you forget some of the things that we've said. Great villain arc. I'd like to see more of this if they could do it. You know what I'm saying? If they could do it, I think this type of approach could actually help resurrect some things in Marvel as well. But they're not going to get that dark. They don't have it in them. I don't think. They have to have a changing of the guard or whatever. And I don't know if the DCU itself would have it in it, seeing how this is not part of the DCU, the James Gunn universe. This is just Matt Reeves' universe. So I don't know. We'll have to see what the DCU looks like when they drop their new Superman film this next summer. If I'm correct, I believe it's coming out next summer. So we'll have to see what kind of theme. I got a feeling it's going to be lighter in theme. It's not going to be as gritty as this is. Probably because they're going to want to keep the universes separate anyway. This is still DC property, but I think they're just labeling it as Elseworld. That's what they're labeling this as, that's what they're labeling the Joker series with Joaquin Phoenix as well as the Elseworld universe. Still DC property though. So is that going? Could that hinder? This is a question for you. Could this iteration of the Batman hinder the reception for the DCU Batman?
Yeah, 100%.
Especially depending on who he picks.
Yeah, the fuck they're doing. Obviously, this series is working. People are liking it. They should only have one at a time going.
Right. And you know what's bad? It's almost like, damn, I should have just ran with this as the fucking DCU.
Probably.
Yeah, because now James Gunn is under the gun. Like after the Batman and the Penguin, whew, but you gonna have to hit home runs, dog. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be compare and contrast.
I like the Penguin better than I like the Batman movie.
Okay,
I totally did.
The Batman movie was a slow burn. It was a longer film, but I still thought it was a good one. I still thought it was good.
It was good. It just didn't have the impact of like Christian Bale's Batman stuff.
Right, but that's Christopher Nolan. That's he can bring some stuff to life. He did the Oppenheimer too, didn't he?
Yes,
if I'm correct. Yeah, I think So he has a particular style, and of course we all know the Dark Knight Rises. Great. That was the second one, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it the Dark Knight Rises? Yeah, with the Joker. Of course, that might go down as the best Batman movie ever made.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's gonna be hard to touch that one. Just with the performance of Heath Ledger and Christian Bale in that. I mean, of everybody, actually. You know, the entirety. There were stakes. Was it the woman got blown up in that one? What's her name? I don't want to say Lois Lane. That's damn Superman. What's Batman's side piece? What was her name? Hold on a second. Golly. She was played by somebody that was famous. Hold on. Dark Knight Rises. Here we go. Oh, it's just the Dark Knight. Oh, I'm sorry. Not the Dark Knight Rises. So let's see. What was it?
The lawyer chick.
Okay. Yeah. Maggie Gyllenhaal is Rachel. Yeah, she got blown up. That was like Batman's like love interest. Right. Joker blows her ass up. So like, man, everything was in that movie. Damn. Was it? You had, of course, Gary Oldman was Commissioner Gordon, and then Harvey Dent. He gets half his face burned up, and then he kind of goes on his spree like that. That movie had it all on that. So, I mean, for them to try to replicate something like that, it's going to be extremely difficult. Now, in 20, 30 years, people will have forgotten about that maybe because that'll be for us old fogies. You know what I'm saying? So whatever young crowd be coming up, they might be saying whatever the new Batman is that James Gunn's going to do. They might say that's the heat. I mean, we don't know. Because some of that stuff is generational. But for me, I believe that will be the GOAT Batman movie of all time. And I don't think it's gonna be close. I didn't particularly I wasn't particularly interested in the Bane one, the one with Bane. That was the
That
third
was
one.
okay.
Yeah, well, the first two were
Yeah.
better. The one with Liam Neeson and then the one with Heath Ledger's Joker. Because Liam Neeson was Ra's al Ghul, if I'm correct, in the first one. So I thought those were better. The one with Bane, it just I don't know. Maybe it's because Bane was corny. That might have been it. Okay, that Bane was a little corny. So high rating for the Penguin, guys. Go check it out. We appreciate everybody for checking us out tonight on this mashup of Showtime with the Cube and Beyond the Cube. Showtime with the Cube will be on hiatus for a little bit. We've got some holiday stuff coming up, but we will have episodes of Beyond the Cube each week for the next 2 weeks. We'll have it early in the week, so we will be bringing y'all that. When we come back, Corey, I want us to try to finish up Rings of Power. To finish watching that, we watch the first half. We'll do the second half, and then after we bring that to you, we will start talking about the first few episodes of Doom Prophecy as well in those following weeks, because that does begin this Sunday. Doom Prophecy does. So we'll be checking that out. This is going to be all about the Bene Gesserit and their rise to power and their manipulation of the houses throughout the centuries. So that'd be interesting. Did the books ever harken on that, Corey, about the Bene Gesserit as far as
sort
them in
of
particular?
The Sun wrote a series of books on the Bene Gesserit, but it's kind of like a side series. It's not in the main series.
Okay. So this is what it's going to be. So this is going to be however many years before what we've seen right here recently with the past two Doom movies. So it'll be interesting to see how they go with that. If HBO keeps it going as far as giving us good content, which usually HBO does. So make sure you're on the lookout for that. We'll be back with y'all next week with another episode Beyond the Cube next Tuesday. So from your boy HQ420, the powerful one Corey Hughes, we'll catch y'all on the next Beyond the Cube and Showtime with the Cube.